For the past 10 decades they've been around, Ripley's Believe It or Not has amazed the world with odd facts of life in a Deem Entertainment franchise that includes their trademark auditoriums, as well as temporary and or traveling exhibitions. 2019 was a big year, as it marked the 100th anniversary of the first Believe It or Not cartoon, and Ripley Entertainment made their primetime comeback on the Travel Channel, with Bruce Campbell of Evil Dead fame hosting. In celebration, booths were set up across 5 different North American comic conventions that highlighted both the history of Ripley's Believe It or Not and a growing cachet of iconic movie memorabilia.
Believe it or not.
First up on the tour, stopping in Texas, was Fan Expo Dallas, which ran from May 3rd to 5th, with Ripley's online host Sabrina CX sponsoring the booth. Following a trend in recent auditorium makeovers, it was based on the Ripley's warehouse in Orlando, with artifacts and crates and 1930s human oddity posters plastered all over. Near the entrance were talking portraits of Johnny Eck and a shrunken head, recycled footage of a gag found in certain museums, while behind it were columns of atypical Ripley's artifacts like the 2-headed calf skull displayed next to a conjoined chick. In the main foyer was a rubber tire elephant, first displayed alongside its mother at a 2018 Memphis Zoo exhibit, and a wooden Vespa by Venetian carpenter Livio De Marchi, which previously graced the stairways of Ripley's Gatlinburg and a Wi-Fi Mall exhibit in Dubai. While a dime a dozen in the collection, this particular Iron Maiden was personally owned by Robert Ripley, who acquired it from Nuremberg and kept it in his Long Island mansion. Although sold in the estate's 1949 auction after his death, the device was displayed in the original St. Augustine Auditorium, then Buena Park's Torture Room from 1990 to 2007, and Piccadilly Circus from 2008 to 2017 when it closed down. Next to it was Axe Sighting Art by Jeff Bertrand, featuring Lizzie Borden on her hatchet, Harry Houdini and Saw character Amanda Young both painted on hand saws, and Mr. Ripley on his signature Piff helmet. Down below were portraits of Michael Keaton's Batman, Michelle Pfeiffer's Catwoman, and Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, all done in matchbooks by Mike Bell as previously shown in Dubai. Next to the vampire killing kit was a lightsaber used by Mark Hamill as Star Wars hero Luke Skywalker, our first movie prop of interest. Made for the Hoth sequences of Empire Strikes Back, specifically the scene when he disarms the Wampa, this was one of 7 items Ripley's purchased from the Profiles in History Hollywood '89 auction for $450,000. Shortly thereafter, the prop made several stops around their attractions, and wherever it went, a Graflex camera accompanied it since the flash gun was used for its creation. The first auditorium stop, coinciding with The Last Jedi's release, was in the bank vault at the Hollywood location, while from March 23rd to 25th, 2018, the hilt appeared at Save on Foods Langford since both it and Ripley share the same parent company, Jim Pattison. During Niagara Falls Comic Con, the prop was not displayed at Scotiabank North Clifton Hill, but in the Michael Jackson room of Louis Tussauds Waxworks. Accompanying it was Carrie Fisher's director's chair, acquired from a separate auction, and a wax figure of Princess Leia loaned all the way from Wax World of Stars in Cavendish, Prince Edward Island. Said attraction is next to a Believe It or Not museum, both operated by Maritime Fun Group, which became the Lightsabers abode from June 13 to July 2nd, while the 501st Canadian Garrison stopped by on the 23rd. On the weeks leading up to Halloween 2018, it then appeared in Ripley's Times Square, where a Darth Vader cosplayer caused some mischief. Over at Crate 73 was a Harrison Ford tribute that, to the left, contained a non-firing blaster he used as Han Solo for the Endor sequences of Return of the Jedi. purchased for a whopping $555K at the 2018 Julien's auction in Planet Hollywood's Las Vegas resort. It was even brought out for that year's Gatlinburg Chili Cook-Off, where Adam the Woo and the Carpetbagger, a frequent Ripley's vlogger, got to handle it. Near the blaster was a David Morgan bullwhip used by Ford as Indiana Jones for the Castle Brunwald sequence in The Last Crusade. One of 3 items Ripley's won at a 2017 prop store auction. The other 2 were an Episode 5 C-3PO head and Marty McFly's futuristic Nike sneakers from Back to the Future Part 2, first displayed at Bangkok's Thailand Comic-Con 2018. Since the Nikes were loaned to another museum at the time of Fan Expo, Ripley's had to bring out another Michael J. Fox prop, namely the Mattel hoverboard they acquired from an undisclosed auction. Between these pop culture relics and Javaros Sansas were an assortment of prehistoric fossils, including a Smilodon skull from the 1994 finale of Ripley's Gatlinburg, while below the hoverboard was a rather interesting piece of taxidermy, namely an African spurred tortoise that lived with a hippopotamus tooth in its shell after surviving an attack. Alongside some dog hair portraits by A.J. Campbell was a rather loony Lego piece of Wile E. Coyote and the Roadrunner on different sides, made by Arthur Gugick as one of several lenticular illusions before a traffic accident claimed his life that March. Behind a treasure chest full of merch was Hoss, a giant hairball started in 2013 by Ohio barber Steve Warden, who sold it to Ripley's 5 years later. Wherever it went, they encouraged patrons to have their hair clipped for free with the intent of increasing its size for a world record. Next on Ripley's 100th list was MegaCon Orlando, which initially held a booth promoting the local Odditorium for the 2014 season. The booth stayed mostly the same as Fan Expos, though with the addition of some Egyptian mummies, the lightsaber was moved to a large cabinet on the far right end, featuring a certificate of authenticity letter from producer Gary Kurtz and a $25 photo op to hold it. For the 52nd season of San Diego Comic-Con, Ripley set up 3 different attractions, with the first being Ripley's Car Lot. Resembling a stereotypical dealership, this interactive zone highlighted strange vehicles from their collection, including a PLP-50, the world's smallest car, a high-heeled dragster, first displayed at NYC during that year's Pride Month, and a DeMarchi Ferrari that was previously displayed at San Diego's Air and Space Museum for Ripley's exhibit in 2013. Inside the convention center, booth number 4105, Ripley's Garage, resembled a gas station with Tibetan monk skulls and a proper con debut of the McFly mags. Team Fun teamed up with Ripley's to produce exclusive merch for SDCC, which marked the premiere of their annual Believe It or Not book, Beyond the Bizarre, which was later signed by Campbell during a Saturday panel in Hilton's Indigo Ballroom to promote the TV series. Also present was Sabrina Sieck, cyborg Angel Gieffra, who was featured in the Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 1, John Hammerhead Herrero, the man with an indestructible skull, and Shorty Dangerously, a half-man with a radical attitude. From August 22nd to 25, as Fan Expo Canada celebrated its 25th anniversary, Ripley's brought back their old booth while Campbell hosted a smaller panel, though some of the exhibits were swapped for new ones, such as a silverware dress by Filippo Mota, first displayed at a 2017 fashion exhibit in Madison Avenue. Since the Smilodon and Hippo Tortoise moved into St. Augustine's new Jungle Gallery on July 1st, they were filled in by cosmonaut gloves and a cast dodo skeleton previously displayed in a South African tour. Brought over from the San Diego car lot was the PLP-50, though it wasn't the first time Ripley's brought this particular vehicle to the Metro Toronto Convention Center, as in February 2015, Niagara Falls sent their version over to the 6, where a man in a shark costume drove it through Ripley's Aquarium of Canada, then both halls of MTCC, where they had a booth set up for the annual Canadian International Auto Show. One peculiar artifact shown at Fan Expo was a rare double-tusked narwhal skull, retrieved from the Arctic and donated by the Prehistorium Museum and Skull Store Oddity Shop, who supplied Ripley's the majority of their freaks of nature in the past. From August 29 to September 2nd, a slightly scaled-down version of the Fan Expo booth appeared at DragonCon Atlanta, while from February 6 to 17, 2020, it was given an expansion at Tampa's Florida State Fair, where it was accompanied by vehicles from the San Diego car lot and bigger Ripley's mainstays, as well as a brand new acquisition, the world's largest paper chain by Butch Baker of North Carolina. From March 6 to 8, 2020, a booth was set up at BransonCon to promote Missouri's Odditorium, which would be Ripley's last appearance before the coronavirus crisis resulted in the cancellation of future conventions. Though Florida's lenient guidelines, Ripley's was able to host an exhibit at Fan Expo in August 2021. Before I elaborate on where some of the artifacts are now, here is some footage I filmed at the Fan Expo Canada booth, since for me, that was the biggest highlight of the 2019 season. Now stick around, because believe it or not, there is more on the way.
Humans should be able to do things that don't.
The largest collection of shrunken heads in the world. I am the best looking. I can do anything a novel person can do and more.
There's a funny looking person like you will enjoy them. And then you are wondering what happened to me. You want to ask, don't you? Well, I hear it wasn't always this small, but always been this good looking.
And my socks are that
Put it up on the wall. Jeremy Clarkson was 6'5". He fit that thing, and he was driving it. He drove it to an elevator, went all the way to his office to that thing. Fantastic. He drove around his office too with it.
That one is not available. It's a dog care. Yeah, but that one's not available. We're not sure. Specifically, based on the
See how fast it travels. What? Yeah. They make the lightsaber out of that. That's cool. Yeah.
Part of Ripley.
Watch your back, Carl.
As I previously mentioned, much of Ripley's Comic-Con artifacts have wound up in different places, as the Marchese Ferrari and the Tired Pachyderm were relocated to Global Village for the opening of its seasonal auditorium in December 2019. Since early 2020, the Looney Tunes Mirage is now found after the spinning vortex of Ripley's Surfer's Paradise in Australia, while later on in August, Origin Studios designed a narwhal exhibit for the Pacific Kelp Forests walkway at Ripley's Aquarium of Canada, where a normal narwhal skeleton by Research Casting International is joined by the double-tusked skull. That same month, the stiletto car appeared in the Danish lobby of Ripley's Copenhagen, while the Allosaurus Conventionist Claw joins an Arctic collection on the boardwalks of Ocean City, Maryland, and both the Batman and dog hair portraits are part of a new crawl-through exhibit in the San Antonio Odditorium. Opening in 1986, Ripley's Believe It or Not, Newport, Oregon was an independent franchise before closing down in 2019, then rebranded 2 years later as Ripley's World of Adventure, with a new auditorium including exhibits such as the Sport Dress, the Vespa of Venice, and Stephen Robinson's Training Glove. On April 19, 2021, Luke's lightsaber made its first post-COVID appearance at Ripley's Aquarium of Myrtle Beach, near the exit to Dangerous Lagoon, while a dive-in showing of The Force Awakens marked the festivities. From May 1st to 10th, the Hilt was moved to the recently renovated rotunda of their local auditorium, housing Ripley's vast collection of movie props from the convention exhibits, as well as their other purchases from 2017. Hans Blaster, meanwhile, joined Tinseltown's Star Wars Vault, where it was displayed next to a rare Japanese German Mauser C-96 model kit, which Norman Reynolds and Peter Hancock used to make said prop during the production of Episode 6. At IAAPA 2021, Ripley's announced a Shave the Beard and Make It Weird charity campaign for Give Kids the World Village, where CEO Jim Pattison nicked his goatee, upholding a pledge of reopening attractions during the pandemic, and added it to Haas, who by this point had started to resemble a shaggy Mr. Potato Head. By next January, upon reaching 225.15 pounds, the Guinness Book of World Records officially declared Haas the world's largest hairball, being the record originally set by Missouri barber Henry Coffer in 2014. While the Star Wars, Indiana Jones, and Back to the Future props have appeared many times before at signs of Ripley's, they were each brought to Arizona Boardwalk during the exhibit's extended stay between March 2022 and 2024. On November 14, 2022, the pre-finale of Ripley's Orlando was transformed to Out of This World, a large selection of NASA memorabilia, including the lost Apollo 11 tapes, that has since become the permanent residence of Luke Skywalker's lightsaber. As of August 2024, the wooden Ferrari is now on display in the front lobby of Ripley's Niagara Falls, while the Han Solo Blaster currently makes up the finale of the Myrtle Beach Auditorium. But who knows where it and any of the other Comic-Con artifacts will end up next. This is Colin Clark, and I will see you next time. Believe it or not.